everybody, Steph here. And today I want to talk to you about 3 tips to move forward on your dreams and goals. But more importantly, I actually want to talk to you about process because this is something we haven't talked about a lot. Although the steps are important, the order in which you do these steps and the order in which you do this process is extremely important. Okay, so the first thing is vision and structure, both very important to goals, but it is really important the order in which you do these. I will always recommend you start with your vision. And the reason why is after working with hundreds of clients and after doing over 6,000 hours of one-on-one coaching, I have seen time and time again how important a very clear and exciting, compelling future is to pulling you forward through the hard times. Of course, any goal is exciting when you start, but when things start getting boring and tedious and hard, and when you really have to push, having that compelling future is what pulls you through. You just daydream about this a bit. Where do you want to be in the future? Who do you want to have around you? What do you want that life to look like? And think in detail. Make it as compelling as possible. You can write it out. You can draw pictures. You can pray. You can meditate. You can just sit and think and daydream about it. Whatever works for you. But make that future vision compelling and exciting. And do that first, and then add the structure, add the systems in place, add the how are you going to get there? What are those steps? What are those action items? Add that afterwards. And the reason why is because sometimes I've had clients where they come in and they're like, okay, I want to problem solve for my life. Here are all the problems I see in my life. Here are all my shortcomings. Here are all the things I'm doing wrong. And it is such a negative way to start. It just feels like you're focusing on the shortcomings and the problems. And that's not very exciting. I mean, yes, that can help you to problem solve, of course, but it's such a disheartening way to start versus getting excited, having something that's aspirational, something that's exciting, that there's no problem you need to point at. It's just like, wow, I'm so excited about this future. Now I see a little bit of a gap. Now I can close that gap. The second tip is about how you go about it, right? So we talked about vision, we talked about structure. Now I want to talk about play and locking in. So a lot of people, they want to move forward, they want to be productive. So they want to just, first idea that pops in their head, they want to lock in and run forward. And that's okay if that's something you feel that you want to do or you feel really confident in. But what I've seen is a lot of people that do that, they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They don't fully commit. And the reason why is they're not 100% confident that that's the path forward because, it's just something that popped up in their head. They decided to lock it in and run forward. And so they're always unsure of like, is this the right path? Is it not? And that uncertainty causes a little bit of just wasted emotional energy as a teeter-totter. Like they're not fully committed, but they're trying to be committed, they're cutting stuff out, but they're not sure if that other stuff is more valuable. So what I would suggest is start with play. This is something we do in our membership group all the time. Start with play, start with experimenting, making things fun. Try a few different things out. If you have a top 2 or 3, if you're multi-passionate and you have 2 or 3 things you're interested in, try those all out. Just play around with them, not full commitment. You can even do just 15 minutes a day, but just kind of play around and keep it lighthearted and open. And that's a good way for you to experiment with different areas. That way you can more easily commit when you're ready. And once you're ready, which I would suggest, doing maybe about 2 to 3 months of play and then start to lock it in. Because then once you lock it in after the play, you will be much more committed. You will be much more certain and you can jump both feet forward into your commitment and try that out a little bit longer at a deeper level. And last but not least, tip number 3 is you got to protect your energy. This is so important. And there's 2 ways I would suggest protecting your energy. Number 1 is through health and vitality. Get plenty of sleep, right? Get plenty of sleep, drink lots of water, eat healthy, work out, move your body, not just in the morning or evening, but throughout the day. All of those things to keep your energy as high as possible because that is so important to your goals and dreams. The more energy you have, the more energy you can put towards your goals and dreams. So that's the first part, the health and vitality part. The second part is protecting your energy. So Jim Rohn says, major in the major things and minor in the minor things, which pretty much means that you want to be very aware of your thought process throughout the day and where you're spending your mental and emotional energy. If you are spending a lot of time in your head and you're like, oh yeah, what am I obsessing over? And you realize that it's something frivolous. Maybe it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you're still thinking of the person who cut you off in the morning during rush hour traffic. That's a minor thing. You're spending major energy on something so minor. So you don't want to do that. You want to be mindful throughout the day. What is taking your energy? What is taking your emotional and mental energy? And you want the major things like your life, your family, your friends, where you're headed, where your future is, what you're doing for this mission while you're here on this planet. Those things should take your time and energy and emotional energy, not the minor things. Start with your vision, a compelling vision, then you add the structure and systems to it. And when you're thinking of like what elements go into that vision, play first and before you commit, so that way you can more fully commit. And then once you're committed, protect your emotional and mental energy. Major in the major things and only minor in the minor things. This is part of my challenge to myself to post 125 YouTube videos in 125 days. So today is day 16. I will see you tomorrow for day 17. If you have any questions for me or anything you want to make sure I talk about, please leave a comment below and subscribe to follow along, because I'd love to see you tomorrow for day 17 and every day as we continue. See you then. Bye.